Hello, Steve White, Trek Boy 89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, we have a little bit of Star Trek news apparently. The Sci Trek guy is talking again about Star Trek, and I don't know if this guy has any actual knowledge or if he's really, talking to people behind the scenes like he says he is. But supposedly the next Star Trek thing they're going to do is pretty desperate. It's pretty sad. Basically, they're going to do a bunch of shorts, animated shorts, and they're going to put them on YouTube for free to try and get kids. Because apparently kids watch YouTube and don't watch cable TV or streaming channels. They don't watch the Disney Channel, they don't watch the Cartoon Channel. Supposedly even if you buy the cartoon networks and put them on 24/7 in front of them, they'll go to their computer and watch YouTube apparently. I'm like, okay, don't have kids, don't like kids, don't know what kids are watching, don't care, don't like kids. I know that's horrible, I should, but the fact that everything is based around them when it comes to marketing and producing TV shows is just a huge mistake. But yeah, so the reason why Star Trek appealed to kids was because it was intelligent, it was bright, it was colourful, it had amazing designs, amazing visuals, it was science fiction, it was exciting, it made you think, it made you imagine. I didn't have a lot of Star Trek when I was a kid, but it got my imagination going and I imagined a whole world of Star Trek, a whole universe of Star Trek, in the absence of actual episodes and merchandise. New shows don't do that. The new shows are dark, depressing, overly designed, overly complicated, sci-fantasy that it just doesn't work. And it's not engaging with children. So their idea, instead of, making the show resemble Star Trek and what, attracted children for generations, no, they're just going to make shows specifically for kids and talk down to kids and make these stupid, puerile, unintelligent, just kiddie shows. And not even a kiddie show, just kiddie shorts for YouTube. Apparently it's going to be called, Starfleet Scouts? And he had some association to Janeway in the thumbnail, like it was going to be about her or something, like maybe she's going to be recruiting more kids, because that's what an organisation like Starfleet is going to do, is forget about trained, intelligent, mature officers and just get kids to have adventures. Like, that's not totally trying to pander to kids, like they're not intelligent enough to know that's not how it works in the real world. We don't have kids running everything. It's just the kind of kid who'd watch that show isn't intelligent enough to understand Star Trek and won't become a long-term fan. These people, the intelligent ones will watch the kiddie shows, grow out of them because they're made for kids, and not go on to watch anything Star Trek because they don't associate the two. And the other ones who aren't smart enough to get it wouldn't be smart enough to get Star Trek, so they're never going to cross over. So you're not going to get new fans out of this, you're not going to grow the franchise, you're just going to waste time and money and further degrade the brand overall with these stupid kiddie cartoon shorts that probably no one's going to watch anyway. I mean, no one watched the short treks, no one watched the really, really, really bad ones. They had a slightly different name, they're slightly different. I can't remember now, but they were the ones with the aliens that ate their own boogers and just stuff like that. I'm just like, oh God. Did that bring on a new legion of kid fans? No, it didn't, Kurtzman doesn't know what he's doing. And just a reminder for those who have forgotten or weren't around back in 2007, 2008, 2009, Kurtzman hated Star Trek. He was not a Star Trek fan. He was brought on to be the anti-Star Trek fan to counter the Star Trek fan in Roberto Orci. So the two of them together were supposed to write the film because one hated Star Trek, one loved Star Trek, so they could make a movie that people who didn't like Star Trek and people who did like Star Trek could understand and enjoy. That was his purpose, to be the anti-Star Trek fan. And for him to be given the reins and take over Star Trek is horrifying. And that's why we've got the mess that we have, because he hates Star Trek, always did, always will. And the only reason why he has any affection for it now is he's worked in it, and it's his bread and butter, it's what he's making his money out of, and he's just exploiting it as an IP. That's what he just sees it as. And he didn't get Star Trek, thought it didn't work, thought it was dead, and thought, well, I'm going to revive it by making it generic anything and just throwing all these different genre shows at the wall, seeing what sticks, and eventually we'll get everyone to watch the show by breaking up into so many little unrecognisable parts that they'll think it's something else. So yeah, this is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. I hope it's not true. Now this guy, the Sidetrack guy, he says he's been talking to people in the legal department and other areas of production, and now some of the producers who were fired a little while ago are talking to him. They were talking to like the assistants before, now they're talking to the actual producers. And what they said was, they were saying what the fans were saying at the time: we need a post-Nemesis, post-Voyager, now post-Picard Season 3 show that runs along, that we see moving forward, and then maybe like Kirk era show that sort of deals with, because there's two different eras of Star Trek really, and it's not really doing a prequel to do something in the Kirk era. But if you go before that, like Enterprise or Discovery, kind of are. But yeah, so they were saying everything we were saying, that this is wrong, it's too complicated, it's messy, it's straying too far, it's not recognisable, people don't get it, normies don't get it, real fans don't like it, not working, and they basically didn't listen to them. They just went on anyway with what they were doing, and now they're just, no one's watching over them, and it's a mess. But fortunately, they're just finishing off Strange New Worlds, doing Academy, and then they're done for now, hopefully for good, but we'll see.